Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be messages and predictions for your month of October 2023. We are going to start off this reading by looking at a general overview of your month. So that will be the main themes and energies that you're dealing with this month, as well as significant events and changes that will be going on. And then we are going to dive into the specific areas of your life. So we're going to be taking a look at your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and finally your spiritual and personal growth. So there are 3 readings for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is Desert Rose Selenite. Number 2 is Moss Agate. And number 3 is Amazonite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Desert Rose Selenite, this is going to be a reading all about your month of October 2023. I just wanna start by saying, if you notice that the quality of this video is not what it usually is, that's because I'm filming on my phone today. I am currently traveling and my camera is broken. So this is the setup that we are working with. Please bear with me. But with that being said, let's get into your reading. We're gonna start with the general overview part of the reading, where we'll be seeing the main themes and energies that you're working with this month, as well as significant events and changes coming your way. And the first card that we're gonna look at is this card from the Wee Moon Tarot. And I'm gonna read the passage from the guidebook because this is a newer deck for me. I'm still getting acquainted with it, and it is pretty different than some other tarot decks. So let's see what we have for you. Group number 1, your first card is the 7 of Fire. So this would be the 7 of Wands in traditional tarot. And we have the keywords courage and facing fear. I'm just gonna put a little stone here because I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. And let's take a look at what the guidebook has to say about the 7 of Fire. So this is on page 50, in case that is relevant for some of you. And the passage says, sometimes we have to do the impossible just to survive. Against all odds, we must dare a high wire act in this time of planetary crisis to recreate a sustainable way of life. When disaster strikes, we often have to resort to desperate measures just to deal with immediate danger. Especially now, when both our individual lives and our collective Earth home are at risk, the steps we must take together to survive the multitude of plagues that threaten us all may teach us how to regenerate healthy ecosystems and ways of life. What daunting personal challenges and collective dilemmas are you facing right now? Tightrope walking may be helpful as a metaphor for finding your way through. Oh my goodness, group number 1. So we are starting off with quite a challenging energy. And I think the very first thing is that your spiritual team and I want to acknowledge that this current chapter you've been going through has not been easy. It's perhaps been very uncomfortable, painful, or even scary. I think many of you who chose this group have been in a survival mode of sorts, and you've just had to do what you have to do to get by. And I think this card is acknowledging that. And also, I want to tell you guys to not judge yourself if your coping mechanisms have not always been the healthiest, because sometimes it's like you don't even have the luxury of thinking about that. You just have to do what you need to do to get through. That's really the feeling here. You just had to do whatever it takes to get through. And there's just a huge sense of acknowledgement and validation for what you have been through. This traditionally being the 7 of Wands, this also often speaks about a fight that you've had to fight, an uphill battle, but for something that is really worth it for you. There was a message in the guidebook about like taking desperate measures. And I kind of want to extend that to doing things that are, I don't know if drastic is the correct word, but doing things that are a bit more intense or a bit more unusual for you, just because there are exceptional circumstances, and giving yourself permission to do that. So I know this might be a little bit vague, but a concrete example that is coming to my mind is, you know, there are times where you have to be aggressive, or even you have to be like violent to protect yourself. That's not our value in our everyday life. We don't want to go through life being like that. And we don't want that to be our go-to for solving conflict. In a perfect world, we can politely and respectfully talk through our problems. But in exceptional circumstances, if you're feeling threatened, you might have to fight back. You might have to display aggression. So it's like taking these exceptional measures just to get through these crazy circumstances. You know, that's just one example. Of course, that energy can be applied to many different things. Maybe someone's been violating your boundaries, and like you've tried being nice, you've tried being peaceful, and it's not working. So you have to be a little bit more, you know, be a little bit more pushy or loud or blunt. And no, that is not your regular style of communication. But when you've tried all else, you have to do what you have to do. There's also an example coming to my mind of like someone who's struggling with anxiety attacks or panic attacks. And it's like maybe the regular grounding exercises are not working. Maybe taking a few deep breaths is not enough right now. And it's really sad that you would think you have to judge yourself that those healthy, well, they are healthy. I don't know why the finger quotes were there, but those healthy coping mechanisms are not working. Sometimes you have to do something stronger. Sometimes you have to do something more drastic, and that's okay. I may sound like a broken record, but the main message here is like you had to do what you had to do, and you did what you did to protect yourself and what is important to you. And you should be proud of that. You should not be ashamed of that. There's even a feeling of fight or flight that comes with this card. You know, the fight or flight mechanism that is within us and that is within other creatures, that we get rushed with adrenaline so that we can fight our attacker, so that we can run away from a predator or from a dangerous situation. We get rushed with this intense emotion to keep us safe, and then it subsides. For some of you, this card may be appearing because you could be living in a chronic state of fight or flight. And that needs to be examined, or that needs to be remedied. This mechanism was designed to keep us safe in moments of imminent danger, and was also supposed to subside so that we could go back to normal when the danger was gone. So for some of you, you could be in a situation where like the danger or the traumatic situation has passed, but you're still living in that fight or flight. You're still living in that state of stress and anxiety. And so maybe a theme of this month will be working through that, will be resolving that. You know, even with this the traditional meaning of this card of fighting is sometimes a necessary thing, but we don't want to be in that state forever. And so if you're feeling like you're constantly in this state of being in an uphill battle, that might be something that needs to be addressed in the month of October. As for astrological placements that we have here, so we do have the Sun and Aries, but traditionally this card would be related to the sign of Leo. So Aries or Leo placements, especially an Aries sun or a Leo sun, could be significant in the month of October. If you know someone with these placements, it could be that they are a main character of this month, so to speak. So let's look at our further oracle cards. We have turquoise with the number 26, bridging of heaven and earth, and spirit in material form. And then we have the angel of feng shui, and it says to increase your luck or improve your luck by using the energy of your surroundings. Very interesting. So both of these cards are talking about the link between, you know, the material and your physical surroundings and your spiritual well-being. Some of you in the month of October, you will be changing your physical environment, or you are encouraged to change your physical environment. And this will be something that greatly helps with your stress levels. I think that many of you in your day-to-day life, there are stressors in your immediate environment. It could be things that are very in your face, very obvious, or it could be more subtle things. What I'm thinking, for example, is like there could be these constant noises, these constant droning noises, or there could be a lack of natural light. That it's not necessarily something that's in your face, but when you're in that environment for prolonged periods of time, it starts to make you more irritable or more tired or more scattered, or like lowers your mood. It seems like there are stressors in your immediate environment. These, like I said, these could be very obvious things to you. For some of you, it could even be the people that you're surrounded with, like the people you spend 8 hours a day with in your workplace, or the people in your household when you retire from work and your responsibilities and go back home. And I do think there is a need to change your physical environment. Some of you already know this, and I do believe that these cards are confirming to you that a change in your physical environment will be possible in the month of October. So you could be changing your work environment, you could be moving, you could be going on a trip, like just to get away from it all for a while. You could be rearranging or improving the space where you currently are so that it is less stressful for you. But I feel like this group in particular, you're very perceptive to energies around you. You have like your connection between like the material world and the spirit world is very, very strong, to the point where sometimes it could feel like they're kind of bleeding together. And it's hard to tell what you're picking up from your physical environment and what you're picking up from the spirit realm. That connection in you is very, very strong. And it's like you're a very finely tuned, delicate instrument. You're like, you know, those kinds of machinery that are like super, like the inside of a hard disk, for example. I learned about this because I had a hard disk crisis last year. But like, once you open those bad boys up, it's like, it's very, what am I trying to say? Risky, because if they get the smallest little piece of dust on them, they could stop working. Or if it's not in the exact right temperature or the exact right humidity, it could stop working. And so I feel like you are kind of like that, in that your system is very like delicate or finely tuned, and you might not even realize like the subtle things in your surroundings that are stressing you out, that are draining your energy, that are like messing with your mood. So I think there's a piece of advice this month to just be very mindful, like to keep checking in with yourself of like, is something bothering me right now? How am I feeling right now? Could it be something in my environment or someone in my environment who is making me feel this way? This is all about like creating a physical environment where your soul can feel at peace. And I think a big part of this does come with like not judging yourself, because what might not be a big deal for someone else could really, really be a stressor for you, like subtle noises in the background. Like I mentioned before, other people might not even notice it. Other people might not even care. But if it bothers you, you deserve to change your environment or change where you are to feel better about it. Yeah. Like this gives me the feeling of you're going to notice drastic changes when you put yourself in a different place. It could even be like a different part of the world or a different part of town. You never know how the energy could be off where you currently are, even if it's not something you can quantify. It could just be that the energy in your city is not good for you, or the energy in your country is not good for you. I don't freaking know. Maybe something about the magnetic fields or like the energy that people there are giving off. It could be something non-tangible that is not perceptible to the five senses. And so what might be happening in October is that you get to go to a different place and you realize, holy crap, why do I feel so good here? And who knows what it is? It could be like the humidity level is like just right for you, or some minerals in the water, or I don't know, right? But your physical vessel picks up on these little subtle things, and you deserve to feel good in your physical environment, and you will get to in October. And the difference will be dramatic. And your spiritual team will assure, they will help you make these changes more permanent so that you can feel better. Okay, so let's take a look at our tea leaf cards. So these are going to be any other specific events in the month of October, things to look forward to, things to look out for, anything else you need to know. We have grasshopper. Interesting. This sounds like exactly what we were talking about. Situations in the balance that require careful handling. I feel like this is you. And, you know, grasshopper, this card always makes me think of, and I always forget what movie it is, even though you guys tell me. Is it like Karate Kid or something, where they call the student young grasshopper or something? I think this is really a month to learn about yourself. And oh wow, I feel emotional. To not normalize how you've been feeling, because you've been feeling stressed out. You've been feeling stressed out. You've been feeling tired, and that's not normal. And if anyone has told you that that's normal, like, I don't want to throw around the word gaslighting, but it just feels like something has been messing with your energy, and people around you, whether that's like friends, family, coworkers, even like professionals, like doctors, if they're telling you like, oh, it's fine, or like, oh, it's just stress, oh, it's just anxiety, oh, that's normal, it's normal to feel that pain, it's normal to feel that discomfort, just like drink water or whatever, you know, whatever it is. Some of your problems, I feel, have been like trivialized or dismissed. And it's almost like you've resigned to like, okay, I guess it's just normal to feel this way. And it's not. You don't have to feel this way. And there are things you can do to feel better. And I think this is about, you know, learning about yourself from a place of non-judgment. Instead of saying, is it normal? Is it like okay that I feel this way or not? Just saying, I feel this way. And what can I do to make myself feel better? And to not resign to just feeling pain or feeling discomfort or feeling stress because that's the norm. Like, man, I feel emotional. We have target, a goal-oriented person. There's really a feeling of fine-tuning your surroundings, fine-tuning your routine so that you can feel better. And then we have lobster with financial pinch. Interesting, we have two animals. So grasshopper and lobster could be significant animals. Like if you're seeing images of these animals throughout the month, they may have a message for you, or they could be like your spirit animals in general, or just in the month of October. There is also a piece of advice here, if I read all three of these together, to take care of your finances. It's like if you want to hit your financial goals, you need to be careful. So you might want to just be more on your finances. I'm pretty bad at this. Sometimes I go like a very long time without checking on my finances and like don't pay attention to like what's coming in or what's going out. But for those of you who have financial goals, I definitely think you're on track to reaching them. But it's just like carefully check things. Make sure that everything's adding up, because sometimes people make mistakes, you know. Sometimes there could be a missing payment that you were supposed to get and you didn't get it, or like someone paid you the wrong amount, or maybe you have like monthly charges from like subscriptions that you're not using anymore. It's like just pay attention to the little details so that you can stay on track with your financial goals. So this concludes the general overview part of the reading. So we are going to move into the specific areas of your life now. As you can see, I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for love, life, and relationships, career and studies, and spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love, life, and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the Hierophant. And for your oracle card, we have Acceptance. So this is Taurus energy, the Hierophant. So a Taurus person, sun, moon, rising, or Venus could be very significant to you in the month of October, or someone whose sign is next to yours in the zodiac. And we also have the numbers 5 and 7 here. So someone born on the 5th or the 7th, someone born in May or July, someone who is a life path 5 or a life path 7, or someone who has a 5-year or 7-year age gap with you. Sorry, that was a lot of info, but if someone in your life matches these, they could be playing a very big role in your month of October. With the Hierophant here, there is definitely a message of commitment. So for those of you wanting to enter into a committed relationship, that could be something that is happening this month. And actually, yeah, some of you guys are manifesting a partner who's, I'm hearing like they're doing wonders for your mental health, for being a calming presence in your life, for being like a rock, a strong rock in your life, for being reliable. Those of you who are single and looking to get into a relationship, you are manifesting someone who has a very, very calming and grounding and earthy kind of presence, because this is Taurus energy. Taurus deals with the physical world and the 5 senses. So if you're the more like anxious type, the type to get in your head, this would be someone who's excellent at like bringing you down to earth, helping you breathe, helping you feel safe in your body. You could also have an excellent physical relationship, physical compatibility with this person. Something about their physical touch could just be really, really calming to you. Like you feel like you can just melt into them and that everything's going to be okay. They have a very warm presence like that. Their energy is like the warm energy of loving Mother Earth. That's how it feels. Just very, very down to earth and reliable person. If you already have a partner, I do think that's going to be the nature of your relationship with them this month. You're going to have that sort of warm, grounding vibe between the two of you. If you're already in a relationship with someone, this could be indicating you reaching a higher level of commitment with them, or at the very least starting to talk about that. So for example, if you have a significant other in the month of October, you could be like getting engaged or starting to talk about marriage, talk about future plans, like talk about the family you want to have together or living together. But this could even be something like, you know, going to a higher level of commitment with a friend. Maybe you decide you're gonna live with your friend or start a business with your friend, you know, something that requires you to commit to each other or almost lock into each other in some way. You're doing something long-term together. You're committing to each other. And there's also a feeling of learning and connecting to your higher self with this card as well, the same way we spoke about with the grasshopper. And I love that we have the message of acceptance, because again, it's like learning about yourself from a place of acceptance, from a place of non-judgment, not approaching yourself with the expectation of what you want yourself to be, but just allowing yourself to show you who you are and what you need to feel safe and what you need to feel happy. You could be learning about yourself or improving your relationship with yourself through spiritual practices or through some sort of professional help or coaching, whether that's, you know, reading a self-help book by a professional or going to therapy. There could also be a confirmation here for some of you. If you've been thinking of going to couples therapy, that could be something that you're doing in the month of October, or if you're already in that, like having a very important breakthrough with your partner in the month of October. And for any changes or improvements you want to make, either with yourself or in your relationships, I think this Oracle card is saying that acceptance is the first stage of that. You can't improve something until you accept the current reality of it. I think an easy example of this is like, you can't heal an addiction unless you admit and acknowledge that you have one in the first place. You can't heal an unhealthy pattern in your relationships unless you accept that it's going on. So this could be a month where it's like finally coming to light the unfavorable patterns that have been repeating in your relationships, and you're like admitting that this is what is happening and like this is not okay and I want to fix it. There's this overarching theme for this group of almost like dismissing when things aren't okay. Just being like, yeah, everything's fine, or like, oh no, that's normal. And I think a big theme this month is about acknowledging like, no, this is not okay, or no, I'm not happy like this. I actually want to change it. And validating your own discomfort, accepting your own discomfort so that you can start to make improvements. Yeah, definitely. The Hierophant, it can talk about like schooling, education, or just institutions in general. So you could be meeting someone new this month at school, if you do go to school, or like maybe you're a teacher and then another teacher at your school, you like develop a relationship with them, if that's allowed. I don't know anything about the rules. Or you could meet someone through like an organized community. So for example, you go to the same gym, or you go to the same conference, or I don't know, something like that. But yeah, this is what I see for your love life and relationships. So let's take a look at your career and studies. Oh my gosh. For your tarot card, we have the 10 of Cups. Beautiful. And we have beginning with the number 8. Wow. So numerologically, this would be a number 1, because like 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. And then we have the number 8. So this is new beginnings, and this is abundance. Many of you guys who chose this group, you could be going through a career change in October, whether that's doing a different job from what you were doing before, or you're doing the same job just in a different company. But what I can see with this 10 of Cups is that from October onwards, you are going to be drastically more emotionally fulfilled and happy in your career and studies. And I think a big part of it has to do with the people you are working with, or the people you are studying with. You can see there's like a couple here, a married couple. We often see like a family with children. And so there is a feeling of community and being with your loved ones that comes with this card. And it's so interesting that in the first half of the reading, we were talking so much about like stressors in your immediate environment. I think a lot of you, like if you're not changing your job, you're at least changing your work environment. Like you're working in a different place or with different people. Maybe some of you are changing from working in your office to like working at home and getting to be around your family. Or you could find your chosen family at work, like people that you really resonate with on an emotional level, people that you genuinely feel they care about me, they support me, even they love me. You're going to get to work and study alongside people that you genuinely love, people that you would actually like want to be friends with, even if you didn't work together. You know, it's not just like, I like you because we see each other every day. It's like, if you quit tomorrow, I would keep in touch with you and I would still want to hang out with you. You're making some beautiful connections through your work and studies, that's for sure, with this 10 of Cups, and just feeling genuinely really, really happy about the work that you're doing. For those of you who are on the fence about whether you want to change career paths or not, like if you're really on the fence about it, I might suggest before you change paths to maybe just try working with different people or working in a different company. And then if you still don't like the work that you're doing, then maybe change career paths. Because I think that some of you do genuinely like the work that you're doing. It's just that you're not surrounded by very good people for you, or like the physical environment is just off and it's stressing you out. So I would say before you completely change the course of your career, to just try maybe like working with different people, if that's something you can do, of course. Even if it doesn't happen right this month in October, that's fine, but that is the message that is coming up. Because I do believe a lot of you have your soul family, your chosen family, coming to you through your work or through your field of study. With this, married couple here, you could even meet your spouse, your future spouse, through your line of work or through your studies. But this is all about like happiness, emotional fulfillment. We have new beginnings, we have abundance. Oh yeah, and the key word of this card is literally beginnings. There's some kind of new beginning coming. And I love that we have rabbits on this card because, and I have a little rabbit here. I don't know if you can see him, but it's my carnelian rabbit for 2023 because it's the year of the rabbit. They're a symbol of like fertility and abundance. So I definitely think abundance is coming your way, but the most important abundance is not monetary. It's like emotional in nature. It's about who you're with, the impact that you feel you're making. That's not to say you won't have money, but I think at the end of the day, the abundance that you'll appreciate a lot more is the emotional one. So next, or finally, I should say, we will take a look at your cards for spiritual and personal growth. Oh my gosh, for your tarot card, we have the Lovers. Lots of messages about like love and relationships. And for your Oracle card, we have Ascension. Very, very interesting. This is Gemini energy here. So a Gemini person could be significant. Again, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And we have another number 1, like talking about new beginnings. And the number 6, which is talking about health, balance, harmony. You guys, in the month of October, you are definitely moving out of a stressful and unhealthy environment into a peaceful and harmonious environment. This is a month where you're really cultivating inner peace, where you're going to experience significant improvements in your mental health, and where you are going to feel loved and supported and valued by the people around you. I think because this is about your personal growth, the Lovers is all about our relationships, the people that we surround ourselves with. I think something that you're realizing is just how deep of an impact the people you're surrounded with have on your self-image, your mood, your mental health, your like outlook on life. And I know this is very like broken record of me, but I think a lot of you are being called to get out of your current environment and see just how good you can feel when you're surrounded by people who are at peace with themselves, who are self-aware, who are optimistic, who are loving and supportive, and just who are overall compatible with you and vibe with you. There's like a major transformation in your relationships or in your social circle. And I think for a lot of you, it does have to do with the people you work with, the people you study with, or like for some of you, it could be people you cohabitate with if you're in like a not ideal living situation. But like the change in environment will work wonders. And like I said at the start of this reading, I think that this group is particularly, like, you're particularly sensitive to picking up on energies around you. So, you know, while other people might just be able to shut out the BS and stay disengaged from the drama that is going on around them, or like, oh my gosh, I hope people have never told you, like, just ignore them. Okay, maybe some people are able to do that, but is anyone really completely able to do that? Like, surely people's BS will get to you even if you try to ignore them. But there's that feeling of people have been like dismissing your concerns, like, oh, that's normal, or like, just ignore them. That's just how they are. They didn't mean it like that. Just explaining away things that have been stressing you. And maybe you've even internalized this and done this to yourself. Like, I'm thinking of maybe a boss who constantly makes rude comments towards you, or they have like these microaggressions towards you, and you're feeling upset, but then you tell yourself, oh, I'm sure they didn't mean it that way. Or like, you know, just making excuses for them because maybe it feels easier in the moment than admitting like, this is kind of messed up and like, I should do something about this. Or like experiencing issues with your body and being like, oh no, it's normal to feel this way. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I'm just overreacting. I'm sure everything's fine. We're not doing that anymore. And, you know, the number 6 and these two people facing each other, it's also about reciprocity. So it's about your needs being heard, your needs being received, and your concerns being reflected back to you. When you express your concern, you are met with concern because they're concerned for you. When you express your joy, you are met with joy because they're joyful for you. It's like that beautiful reflection, that beautiful reciprocity. And I think a big part of this personal growth is realizing just how important connection is, and like having the right type of connection. And I think it's beautiful that we have ascension because there is a feeling of you rising above it all, like rising above the BS, and your support system helping you to do that so that you can take care of yourself in the way that you always deserved to. So group number 1, it looks like this month is really one of healing for you, but that starts with accepting that some things are not okay and like pinpointing what is wrong and what you need to do to feel better. So I do think your spiritual team is going to help with this. I do think they're going to be working to put you in different places, in different physical environments, and around different people so that you can see how good you really can feel and how good you really deserve to feel. But I think it does start with you in the sense that like you have to admit to yourself that this is not okay. Like, it's not normal to be in fight or flight mode all the time. It's not normal to be walking on this tightrope or walking on eggshells all the time. Or I should say that doesn't have to be your norm. When I say it's not normal, I don't mean that there's something wrong with you or something weird about you. Maybe that was poor wording. I just mean that doesn't have to be your norm. Yeah. So I think these are all the messages for my group number 1s. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my channel and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. And you can also decide on the topics for future videos. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, either directly or indirectly. And I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 2s. So if you guys chose the Moss Agate Heart, this is going to be a reading all about your month of October 2023. I just wanted to start off by saying If you notice that the quality of this video is not what it usually is, that's because I'm filming on my phone today. I'm currently traveling and my camera is broken, so this is the setup that we are working with. Also, from pile 2 onwards, I have an interesting accent nail because I lost the original nail and I don't have an extra one. So anyway, let's get started with the general overview of your month. We are going to see the main themes and energies of your month, as well as significant events and changes coming your way. And we are going to start off with a card from the Wee Moon Tarot, and I'm going to be reading the passage from the guidebook because this deck is still a bit new to me, and it's quite different from some other tarots. So for my group number 2s, we have the One of Water. Water is life, and this would be an equivalent to the Ace of Cups in traditional tarot. So let's see what the guidebook has to say about this one. Okay, so the One of Water, it's on page 86, in case that is relevant for some of you. Water is the womb of creation, the source and sustainer of all life. Everything that grows depends on water. We cannot take it for granted, especially now when so much of the living mother is polluted and drying up. Bless the indigenous women water keepers who have always been her guardians. We are all being called to become water keepers now. Bless each drink of water. Wash your hands, cleanse and purify. Bless our relationships, our healers, caregivers, communities, our emotions, our life energy. Bless the clean, abundant flow of your own life, sustaining source, material and spiritual. Whether this card is reversed or not, look for ways to nurture and protect your natural resources. What a beautiful card. So for my group number 2s, we can, of course, take this meaning quite literally and say that water could be a big theme for you in the month of October. Some of you may be traveling to a body of water, a lake, an ocean, a river. You could be bathing in water, especially like a water source that is out in nature. This could also be, for those of you who are thinking of relocating, this could be a sign that you will relocate to somewhere by the water. Like you will actually have a waterfront place or somewhere where a body of water is walking distance. This could even be talking about hydration. So that could be something that is heavily on your mind this month, like making sure that you drink enough water. But in the more symbolic sense, I do think that a theme for your month of October is cleansing. Cleansing your energy. You could be doing some kind of detox in October, whether that is a detox from something physical, like a physical substance, or something more energetic, detoxing from a way that you spend your time, detoxing from certain relationships or types of relationships. It seems like you are just going to be very conscious this month that the energy surrounding you is pure, that the things you are putting into your body are pure as possible, that the people around you have pure intentions. You are really treating your energy like the sacred thing that it is. That's the feeling that I'm getting. And the same way that this guidebook spoke about much of our water is polluted, unfortunately, there is a lot of bad energy out there. There are people with negative intentions out there. And I think that's something that we don't want to believe. That's definitely something that I don't like believing. I like to believe that, like, you know, nobody knows that they're being toxic, like it's not their fault, or try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is that there just is crappy energy out there, and you do need to protect yourself. So cleansing, purifying. I also get a sense of recharging and rejuvenation from this card. So you could be spending a bit more time resting in the month of October, but it feels like an intentional rest. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have your own business. This is not like, oh no, my business is drying up and it's a slow month. It's like, I am consciously choosing that I want to slow down. I am consciously choosing that I want to have a lighter workload. I'm consciously choosing to spend more days for self-care and nourishing myself. And I do think that this is a month of re-energization for you, that you'll probably go into November, the following month, feeling very refreshed, clear, focused, energized. This is a time to just really recharge and nourish yourself. And if I link this to the traditional Ace of Cups, this is a very happy card. Ooh. What was that? Anyway, this talks about emotional fulfillment. It talks about your cup overflowing with bliss, with inner peace. And even the Ace of Cups can talk about self-care. So self-love and self-care is like a big theme of October for you guys as well. This card is related to, let me just look in the guidebook because it could be a bit different in this deck. So we have Cancer and the Moon. So a Cancer person could be significant, especially a Cancer moon. But this is all water signs in general. So Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces people could be playing a significant role in your month of October. And I'm just going to open up the Moon app because I want to see when the Moon is in Cancer. So in the month of October, the Moon will be in Cancer from the 5th to the 7th, give or take a bit, because I know there's different dates in different time zones. But so around the first week of October could be an important time for you. So let's take a look at our other cards. We have Sunset, completion, achievement, and relief. And we have, oh my gosh, we have the Angels of Relief. It literally says like, don't worry, you're being supported. So there's a feeling of like this month feels like an exhale. It feels like a time to finally lay your burdens down and rest and recharge. I also want to point out that we have a 1 here and then we have a 10 here, which reduces to 1. So repeating ones, 11, 11, 1, 11, could be following you around this month. I do think there is a new chapter on the horizon for you, but this month kind of feels more like recovering from the last one. This month feels like an in-between where you've just finished a tough chapter and you need to take a little break to recharge your energy and get inspired for the next one before you embark on your next journey. But it's interesting, you know, sunset, it does make me think of endings, but it seems like an ending that you're happy about, that you're relieved about. I do think with the sun, there is a sense of pride here. And I think I was talking about something like this in the, I don't know if you have watched it or if you even chose this group for that matter, but the reading about your career for the rest of 2023, there was like, in one group, it was like something was coming to an end and the feeling was, I'm so happy that happened, that was awesome, and I'm so proud of myself for completing this. But at the same time, I'm freaking glad it's over because that was a lot of hard work. So there's like a phase coming to completion, and it's not that you didn't enjoy that phase. I think you did enjoy it, and I think you're very proud of yourself for whatever you've completed. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, it was time for that to end because I need a break. I need to take a moment to just regather myself and decide what I want to do in this next chapter. This feels like an in-between chapter, but one that is very welcome. It's like, Imagine like you just finished a lifetime and you went back to the soul world. You're going to be like, yeah, that life was awesome, but I think I'm going to hang out here for a bit. Like, I'm not rushing to go back down to earth right away or to incarnate again right away. So October kind of feels like that in between for you guys. I hope that makes sense. So with this card in mind, and especially with these crops, like that makes me think of harvest. You could be maybe in the beginning of October, finally wrapping up a big project, or you could be achieving a really important milestone in your life. Your hard work has paid off and you're very proud of yourself. And now it's time to just rest and enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's actually kind of what this trip I'm on feels like right now. Like, I'm definitely enjoying the fruits of my labor. I finished my visit to Canada. I'm not back to Japan yet. And just in this in-between time, I'm enjoying a vacation. Like that's the vibe for you guys. And I love that there's 2 angels who are with you, 2 guardian angels who are telling you not to worry because they're supporting you. So you're definitely going to feel very strong angelic support. And it's beautiful because now that things are slowing down, it's like you have more time to, I mean, they're always there. Don't get me wrong. These angels are always there, even when, you know, life is crazy, even when things are hectic and busy. But I think with this kind of pause that you're having right now, it will allow you to more consciously bond with them and to, you know, hear them more intently, to speak with them more often, and just really enjoy that bond. I think you could really be valuing your alone time this month as well. So finally, let's take a look at your, we have a month of the year. So these are your tea leaf cards, just other little things to look out for this month, things to look forward to, or any other messages your spiritual team has for you. We have wedge, leaf. Okay, we're good. We have wedge. Someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. Then we have mountain road. You are on the road to success. And then for our month of the year, we have the month of July. I keep hitting the leaf, I'm sorry. So with the month of July, this could be indicating someone who is born in July, which is interesting because at the very start of this reading, we did get Cancer energy coming through. So could be like a July Cancer. It could be that something you started in the month of July is coming to a close in the month of October. It could also be that someone you met in the month of July will be significant, or that you are this month making plans for something that will happen next July. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret this, but July is significant. It could also be, for example, a person named Julia or Julie or Julio or something like that. Any name in any language that kind of sounds like this. This is very interesting. Someone's trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. You are on the road to success. This is very literal. You are on the road to success, and the milestone you've hit here, I think, is a testament to that. And I'm being told you guys have a very like holistic definition of success. Your definition of success is not just about how much money you made or how many awards you received or how much status you have. Emotional fulfillment and self-care is like a very big part of your success. You would likely be the type of person to say, you know, I could work my way to the top of a company and be making like 6 figures, but am I really successful if I'm burnt out? Am I really successful if I'm miserable? Am I really successful if I'm neglecting my connections? So I feel like your definition of success, it's really all encompassing. And it's really all about balance, and you are on the road to your definition of success, what it means to you. I think that you don't get swayed by others' definition of success or society's overall definition of success, because your success is not here to prove something to anyone else. It's your own inner peace. And it's almost like, I feel like there's someone around you who is very stuck to the traditional definition of success, and the fact that you're not, like the fact that you're freely pursuing your own version of it, it kind of makes them jealous in a weird way. It's as if they would be like, well, at least I have more money than you. And then you're like, yeah, but I don't care about that. And then that upsets them because it's like, what do I have on group number 2 then? How can I prove that I'm better than group number 2? Like there's some kind of insecure person like that around you. I don't know if they're actively trying to come between you and your success, or if this is just showing that they're like insecure or threatened by your success, which by the way is not your fault at all. I never ever want anyone to feel like, oh, I should make myself smaller so this person isn't uncomfortable. But I will say, if you were suspecting that someone was interfering with your path, then this could be a confirmation of that. But that makes this card even more meaningful. It says, don't worry, you are supported. You're supported by the angels. And so even if someone were to try, you are still going to be on the road to success. So I think this is maybe just here to like confirm something to you if you had your suspicions, and to remind you that any way someone might feel about you is not your problem. You know, if you're not hurting anyone, you're not hurting anyone, you're looking out for yourself, you're making all your moves from a place of love and just searching for inner peace, you know your intentions are pure at the end of the day. And it's not your job to make sure no one is uncomfortable with that or no one has a problem with that. Yeah, so this concludes the general overview part of your reading. We're going to move on to the specific areas of your life now. So as you can see, I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love life and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the King of Swords, and for your oracle card, we have Quiet Time. That makes a lot of sense. That's pretty much exactly what we've been speaking about in this reading. And I love that both of these cards have the same color scheme. They're both blue. And I also love that you have all of these angels around you. This just confirms to me that in the month of October, you guys are spending quite a bit of alone time, but not really alone. I should say not with a lot of other people, because you are spending time with your higher self and with your angels. The fact that this bird is yellow right away made me think of a canary. It made me think of singing. And even this angel here looks like they're singing. This is actually the Mother Mary. That's what this says here. You could be connecting to her or connecting to an angel that has a very motherly energy. I'm also noticing that all of these beings have red hair. So a guardian angel, a motherly figure in the soul world, perhaps even a deity who is depicted with red hair could be coming to you this month, or you've already been working with this being. Maybe you even know who this is. But what was I saying? Oh, the canary. I got a little bit off track there. So the fact that this bird is yellow, it makes me think of a canary. It makes me think of singing. But it talks about you spending like alone and quiet time. So this could be a month where you are very creative, but it's just for you. So you spend time singing to yourself, you spend time writing, but it's for your eyes only, drawing just for you. Like it's not for anyone else. It's not to like capitalize off of it, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I think you're enjoying that, you know, sacred energy of just creating for yourself and just enjoying the fact that you are a creator. You could be talking a lot out loud to your higher self or talking out loud to your guardian angels, because you're like, no one's around. I can talk out loud. I can sing out loud. I can dance around my house. And this kind of movement is actually going to be very recharging for you. You know, recharging and rest, it doesn't always have to look like sleeping. I think oftentimes, because it's not always our like physical battery that is drained, sometimes it's our like creative battery or our passion battery. So I think you're definitely recharging that by being creative, by doing things that you love. It's actually going to give you more energy. There's just a feeling of you like talking a lot or getting down a lot of your ideas or creating a lot, because this blue is making me think of the throat chakra, which is, it's all about like communication, expression, as well as creativity. So you're in a very creative place, and maybe in the future you will share what you've created with other people, but it just feels like in October it's really for you. It's for you and your angels, and it was like you're gifting each other works of art, and it's a very beautiful thing. You could be as well talking to a mother, a grandmother, a motherly ancestor who is on the other side. You could be feeling her energy very strongly this month. I do feel quite emotional when I'm talking about that. So for those of you who do have like a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a great grandmother, an older sister, whatever it might be, who is on the other side, you are going to be spending a lot of time with them this month, and they're going to be giving you a lot of beautiful advice. They may come to you through your claircognizant abilities or your clairaudience and give you some life advice. They could come through like through your creations, as you're writing, as you're drawing, as you're singing. The advice that they want to give you comes through, but they're going to be very vocal with you this month, very talkative. We also have the number 14. Could be someone born on the 14th, even like July 14th. That is a Cancer. But this also makes me think of Temperance, because Temperance card is the number 14. A Sagittarius could be significant, as well as an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I know I'm naming a lot of signs right now, but I do want to mention them because they're here. But that's very interesting, because Sagittarius, it is very much about balance, and we do see like a higher ascended being in that card that has like 1 foot in the water and 1 foot out, sort of talking about the balance between the 3D world and the spirit world. You're definitely going to be very much in both during this month. But yeah, even the way this bird has their back turned, I don't think you're going to be very social, at least in the 3D this month. It doesn't seem like you're really like going out and meeting new people. I do think that you'll be speaking with your friends and loved ones, but it may be more virtual than in person. So, you know, like you could still be talking to your best friend every day, but it's mostly through text, that kind of thing. And then other than that, you're just like vibing. You're just vibing in your own space, because I think you're just feeling like, I'm not trying to invite new energy or new stimulations into my life right now. I'm just trying to be with myself and reflect and like think about what I want to do next. You could be turning down some invitations. Like if you get invited out to a party or something, you could be saying no. Please don't, fear of missing out, FOMO. It happens to the best of us, but I'm definitely hearing you're not going to miss anything important this month if you do decide to stay home, or if you just don't want to go out. If there was someone you were meant to meet, they're going to come back around anyway, so don't worry about that. The walls here are so thin, so I'm sorry if you can hear like noises. That was like a door closing. Which is interesting, because we're just talking about like, don't worry about missed opportunities. They will come knocking again. Even if a door closes, it's going to open again. And I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. Oh, just that I felt like some of you were maybe trying to network or feel like it's important that you should network. And that's not urgent. Your angels are saying that's not urgent, because whoever you're meant to network with, like you're going to meet them when you're supposed to meet them. And you don't have to go against what your energy is calling you to do in any moment. So you could also be, a significant relationship in October could also be with some kind of like mentor, which I know is very vague, but like a mentor for your career, or even like a psychic. You could be consulting with like a spiritual reader or teacher, something like that. So let's take a look now at your cards for career and studies. Okay, we have the 7 of Pentacles, and we have creation, like the genesis of something, the creation of something, with the number 22. July 14 could be a significant date, or July 22nd, which July 22nd is like on the very, very end of Cancer. Sometimes it's not Cancer, but if you know a Cancer born on July 22nd, which is my nephew, then they could be very significant this month. Beautiful, beautiful energy for career and studies. And I do notice we have a bit of a matching color scheme again. This is Taurus energy. So there's definitely something about your hard work reaping tangible rewards, your hard work paying off. But this is definitely a slower energy. And this is Saturn energy as well. So it requires discipline, it requires patience, it requires effort. And your efforts don't pay off in the sense of like you suddenly hit the jackpot. It feels like something that creeps up on you slowly. For example, and this does depend on the plant, but being a plant parent and watching my plants grow, I don't notice a difference from day to day. But then if I look at a picture of my plant from a month ago, I'm like, what the heck? You were that small? Like, when did that happen? So I think your growth has been slow to the point that maybe from day to day or even from week to week, you could not really see the difference. But then if you look back at where you were a few months ago, you will be surprised at how far you've come. For some reason, one of the examples that was coming to my mind is someone studying a language and they don't really feel like they're making progress with it, but that's because the progress is happening very, very gradually. And then they come across a video of themselves or a recording of themselves practicing their language from 3 months ago. And they're like, holy crap, like I really have improved. It was just happening so slowly that I didn't notice. So I think the message here is to not get discouraged by the speed of your progress, because it really is, it's secure, using that language learning example. If you're memorizing like 100 vocabularies a day, you might hold on to them for a couple days, but you're going to lose most of it. Whereas if you introduce them slowly, like a few at a time, and apply them over and over again and use them in example sentences over and over again and have them inputted to you in different contexts again and again, like you're really taking your time on each one. It might feel like you're falling behind because that's a slow way to do it, but they're going to stick for longer so that you don't have to learn that material like 8 times because you keep forgetting it. This card is saying like slower is better. It's like a slow and steady wins the race kind of energy. And I think that's becoming apparent to you this month. You're going to see just how far you've come and start to appreciate the gradualness, if that's a word, graduality, the gradualness of your progress. You'll start to see physical, tangible evidence of your hard work paying off. And I think it's beautiful too that we have this like creation card here. What I'm actually thinking of is that expression, Rome wasn't built in a day. Good things really do take time. And I say that a lot with the 7 of Pentacles. And the fact that we're talking about, this is almost like a divine creation of something, like the creation of life, the creation of the world. It gives me that kind of feeling. And this green color, it's like when you're creating something from your heart, it's a labor of love, right? You're enjoying the process. You're not just trying to rush to an end goal. And I think a lot of us feel pressure to pump out work or pump out creations like they're freaking like a Pez dispenser, just like bloop, 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 bloop. But there's no heart in those things. It's mechanical. It's just feeding the capitalist machine. And that's not what you're doing. You're creating from a place of love. You're creating something meaningful, and those things do take time, and they need time to even discover themselves. Like your idea needs time to discover what it itself wants to be in this world, and it needs time to get comfortable with you and slowly bloom before your eyes. It's when you're creating something, it's literally like you're raising a life, you're raising a consciousness. It's beautiful. You're creating something beautiful slowly over time, and there's just really a feeling like there's no need to rush with this. And I hope that you don't feel too much pressure to like do more or to speed up, because there really is no need, and there really is no point. We have this idea that like more is better, faster is better, and it is just simply not true. Okay, so finally we have your cards for spiritual and personal growth. So for your tarot card, we have the Seven of Swords, which this is Moon in Aquarius energy, by the way. And then, I was hoping like this could also be a matching color scheme, but that's okay. We got 2 out of 3. And then we have the Vibration of Love. Okay. We have the Vibration of Love here. And again, another 7. July 13. Lots of July going on. I don't know if you guys like have a lot of people born in July in your life, or a significant July born person, or if this like next July is going to be a really big time for you, but that's so interesting. The number 13, it could also be relating to the Death card in tarot, which is Scorpio energy. But so interesting that the Seven of Swords, it talks about a little bit of a deceptive or phony or inauthentic energy. When we put these together, in terms of your spiritual and personal growth, this is like you seeing past BS. And I think this will kind of tie back to what we spoke about at the very start of the reading, like having to protect your energy, because, you know, some energy is just shitty. As much as we don't want to think that there are people out there who actively hurt others, who actively have bad intentions, who do bad things on purpose and just don't care. Such people do exist, and sneaky people exist, dishonest people exist. And I think this is talking about your ability to discern, because these two energies feel quite different. You know, this is insincere, and the Vibration of Love is like the most sincere thing that there is. And it's very interesting that Scorpio energy is here with the number 13, kind of linking to the Death card, because Scorpios are so insanely intuitive, very good at reading other people. And as an Aries, I don't like to admit that, but it's true. One thing about Scorpios, they know what's going on. So anyway, I think this is you knowing so well what the vibration of love feels like. And that probably comes from spending so much time with yourself and your own vibration, because you radiate purity, you radiate love. And spending time with your guardian angels, of course, who just radiate nothing but unconditional love to you. You know so well what this feels like that you can spot fake love from a mile away, because you feel that it's off, you feel that it's different. So I guess there's a feeling of you would not fall for example, you would not fall for flattery, you would not fall for like someone kissing up to you, you would not fall for love bombing, things like that, because you know that it's not real love, and it just seems like you're not interested in that. And I think it can kind of go two ways. There can be people who actively know, like, oh, I don't love group number 2, but I'm going to make them think that I love them so that I can get what I want from them. And then there's other people who maybe genuinely think that they love you, but it's more that they're projecting something onto you. It's more that maybe they love the idea of you rather than the real thing. And it's like you're gonna become very good at discerning that. What is truly real love? What is truly the vibration of love? And what is something else that is masquerading as love? And I think you're also becoming very good at recognizing that within yourself. So for example, if you felt really drawn to a person, you can discern like, oh, is it love that I'm feeling for this person? Or is it infatuation? Or am I projecting some ideal onto them? You'll become very good at discerning that. And because of that, become very good at making your decisions and taking steps from a place of pure unconditional love. I think that's really what you're interested in. I think that's your biggest like definition of success, is if you're living in pure unconditional love and making all of your decisions from that place. That's what makes it worth it to go up this steep mountain. And I keep hearing like, I have no interest. And I think it's something like, I have no interest in anything that is not like coming from love, or that is not for love. You're really in, because that's all there is. You're really in that energy of unconditional love, and it's very beautiful. And I think you're also recognizing that like you can love someone as a fellow human, as a fellow being. You can send them love, but that doesn't mean you have to create 3D space for them, or that you have to mess with them in the 3D, or like be their friend or anything like that. That includes protecting yourself and protecting your space. So group number 2s, these are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive, timeless pick a card readings just like this one. And also, well, I guess this one is not really timeless because it's for the month of October, but you know what I mean. Same format, same style, same everything. And you guys get to choose the topics for those ones and decide on the topics for future readings. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song that was on this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the temple that was at the start of this video. Group number 2s, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. It really, really means a lot. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to your guardian angels, to your higher self. To anyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly, I am sending them love. And to all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you guys chose the Amazonite, this is going to be your reading all about your month of October 2023. I just wanted to start by saying, if the quality of this video is not what it usually is, it's because I'm filming on my phone today. I'm currently traveling, as some of you guys know, and my camera broke. So this is the setup that we're working with today. Also, I'm rocking a couple of accent nails. They have been increasing as the video is progressing because I lost some and I didn't have replacements. So we're doing the best we can today. We're gonna start off with the general overview part of your reading. So we're gonna take a look at the main themes and the main energies that you will be working with in the month of October, as well as significant events and changes that will be coming your way. And we're going to start off with a card from the Wee Moon Tarot. And I am going to be reading from the guidebook for this one because I'm still getting acquainted with this deck and it is quite different from a lot of other tarot decks. So let's see what we have for my group number 3s. We're starting off with the 7 of Earth and we have the keyword sustainability. So let's dive into the guidebook and see your passage. Okay, 7 of Earth. This is on page 64, 6-4, in case that is relevant for some of you. City people buy food. Country people grow food for a living. This dynamic has changed in industrialized society as agribusiness takes over from the small family farmer. We all benefit when rural, urban, and suburban folks begin cooperating more with one another in a mutually supportive food economy. Do you know who grows your food? Increasing consciousness about our health and environment is driving demand for fresh, organic, local food sources for farmers markets and community gardens. Concern for future generations propels us to make food production more sustainable. Go outside, grow a garden, get down on your knees, touch the earth, and commune with nature wherever you live. That's such a nice message. And I just noticed actually that this should go like this so that you can see the image properly. So a big theme for you guys in the month of October could be surrounding your food, where it comes from, being more conscious of what you're eating, more specifically like where you are purchasing from, how your food is sourced. I think that I could even extend this to things beyond food. So you could be becoming a more conscious consumer in the month of October, wanting to know where the things that you buy come from and what was the environmental impact and what was the impact on the people who made it. If you are already paying attention to these kinds of things, you could be finding a source that really resonates with you, that you really feel good about. So just one example of this is, let's say you're someone who tries your best to get like ethically made and sourced clothing. You could be finding a clothing brand that you really love what they're making, and you feel good about where it's coming from and how the people who make it are treated. So, finding places that basically you're happy putting your dollar towards them. I think you're becoming more conscious about how you impact your community and your environment through the things you consume, through the purchases you make, where your money goes, and just feeling really good about your impact. If I interpret this in a bit more of an abstract way, sustainability can also be talking about your own effort. So not just how you expend your money, but how you expend your energy, and taking an approach to your lifestyle and your work that is more sustainable. So not being so intense, I guess would be one way to put it, with how you exert yourself, but rather taking a more slow and steady approach to the things that you're working towards so that you can keep doing them in the long term. And that really fits with the traditional equivalent of this card, which is the 7 of Pentacles. This is very much an energy of your life being a marathon, not a sprint, and allowing things to grow slowly over time. You could just be taking a slower approach to life in general. And a lot of the time, it's the demand for high speed things and the demand for convenient things that does end up hurting our environment. Like, I want this product at my doorstep right now. I want this food packaged and ready to go and in my mouth right now. So I think you're taking a slower approach that will be kinder to yourself and also kinder to the planet. Like the guidebook did say, this could be a month where you're getting into gardening if the weather where you live permits in the month of October, or getting more locally sourced food, or focusing more on cooking meals for yourself. This could be a month where you are looking at buying things secondhand, things like clothing, furniture, really anything else that is produced locally. Yeah, becoming slower and more grounded and more conscious. With the traditional meaning of this card, I would also say this is not really a month where you're going to be experiencing like huge breakthroughs, really sudden, quick growth. This is definitely a month where you are making progress very, very gradually. So easy example of this is like if you had a YouTube channel, this is not going to be a month where you're jumping from 10,000 subscribers to 50,000, but maybe you are jumping from 10 to 11 or 10 to 12, which is still very good progress because you're going to see this over a long period. You're going to keep having these small incremental bits of growth over a long time. So in a year from now, in 2 years from now, I think we spoke about this in a different group. Yeah, maybe in group 2, you'll be able to look back and see that your slow and steady growth has really added up. But it just seems overall like you're getting out of fast-paced modern society and reconnecting to nature, the natural pace of things, the natural flow of things, without the pressures of our hyper-fast, hyper-convenient, hyper-productive society. Almost like getting back to your roots. You could also be connecting a lot, like going outside a lot this month, connecting with the trees, connecting with the earth, connecting with plants, with animals. It's a very grounding energy because actually in the guidebook, this does say Capricorn, but traditionally this 7 of Pentacles would be associated with the sign of Taurus, which is like the natural world, the physical world, nature itself, Mother Earth herself. With that being said, a Taurus person or a Capricorn person could be playing an important role for you this month, or someone who has those placements. Now let's get into the rest of your cards. We have Monarch, Transformation, and Rebirth. And we have, wow, we have the Angel of Change. So we have transformation and rebirth, and then we have change. And this card says it's time for you to undergo a beautiful transformation and is calling on you to enjoy this process of transformation. This may be a month. You guys, there's a lot of like common messages throughout the groups. So maybe this is something that the collective is experiencing, or just people watching these readings are experiencing. But I do feel like a lot of us are being called to slow down because we're undergoing a very big transformation, and this process cannot be rushed. And many of us might feel like we can feel the transformation happening, but we're still kind of in that in-between phase where like, we're not quite the caterpillar anymore, but we're not quite the butterfly yet. And things are slow, but we just feel on an instinctual level that something big is happening. And I think there's a message here about embracing that in-between process. Not just pushing for the end result to happen and pushing for the transformation to be over, but embracing and loving all of the versions of you that you embody as you reach your final form. These really feel like a confirmation for a lot of you who chose this group that you are indeed transforming, that big changes are indeed coming into your life. But it doesn't feel like there's this definitive moment where you're like, this is my old life, this is my old life, boom, the transformation happened, and now I'm where I want to be, and now I'm my ideal version. It's almost something that creeps up on you. And it's interesting, the example I'm getting is like meeting someone for the first time and being like, oh my God, this is love at first sight. I immediately feel so intensely about this person, versus meeting someone and feeling very comfortable with them, feeling very good around them, and things just organically grow. Then one day you wake up and realize, I think I have feelings for this person. When did that happen? It happened so gradually, and it happened so naturally that I didn't realize it creeping up on me, but holy crap, I think I'm in love with this person. So it's not a transformation that is hitting you like a truck, essentially. It's like one day you will wake up and realize, wait a minute, I think I've become my best version. Wait a minute, I think I'm living my dream life. It's not something that's happening all at once. But maybe if you slow down, you can see the little changes happening day after day. And your angels are saying it's happening this way so as to not overwhelm you, so that you can get used to the new version of yourself and used to your new life slowly as it happens. It's like giving you grace that you're not going to be like thrust into this hugely different, hugely unfamiliar life. It's like getting into an ocean, like your feet first, and then go up to your knees and get used to the temperature, and then go up to your waist and get used to that. It will happen like this. And I don't know, maybe that's less exciting because it's not like, it's happening, it's your breakthrough, but it will happen in a way that is comfortable and in a way that is natural. And I think your angels also want to tell you that nothing is urgent. Like, I think when we have goals, they feel very, very urgent. Like, I have to get this yesterday, or I have to get this by this age, or I have to do it now while I can. I can't waste time. They're saying like none of your goals are urgent. None of your goals will leave without you. Your goals are like a bus waiting for you at the bus stop, and it's not going to drive off without you. So you can take your sweet time sauntering down this road, looking at the trees. Like, that bus is for you, so it's not going anywhere. And there's no deadline. Yeah. So let's take a look at your tea leaf cards. We do have a month of the year for you guys. It'll be interesting to see what month comes up, but these are just going to be other specific things to look out for this month, things to look forward to, or anything else that your guides want you to know. So we have the month of October, which is this month, the month coming up, very literal. If you have a birthday in October, happy birthday. Someone who is born in October could be significant to you guys. Someone you met last October, or you could be making plans this month for the following October. But I think the fact that we're getting the literal month that it's about to be, it could also be a message for you guys about just living in the moment. I think it's really interesting that we have these falling leaves, because the season of autumn, it really does give the feeling of release and transformation, like this monarch card. The leaves are changing color, the trees are becoming bare, the days are getting shorter and cooler. It is a kind of feels like a transitional season. We also have ink pot, problems to be resolved. There is a lot of symbolism of release for this group, because we have the leaves falling down, they're being released. We have the ink spilling, it's being released. This may be a month where you are letting go of a lot of things. And something that just came to my mind is that you may be letting go of judgments on what your life is supposed to look like, and by when your life is supposed to look like this. You could be letting go of a lot of material possessions. So decluttering your home, giving things away, donating things. You could be letting go of like materialistic desires in general. I do want to say there's nothing wrong with wanting material things, but you might find that a lot of your materialistic desires create like pressure that you put on yourself and actually don't make you happy. So getting rid of material possessions or materialistic desires could also be something that you're doing this month. And like judgments that you've placed on yourself that don't really come from a genuine desire that you have, but just societal pressure. You could be letting go of that. You could also be letting go of some feelings that have been on your chest. This could be a month where you are getting something off your chest that you have really wanted to tell someone, that holding it in has just been a really big weight. Maybe you were worried about how they would respond. Maybe you were afraid to say it out loud, because once you say it out loud, it becomes real and you can't take it back. But it could be time for you to have an important heart-to-heart with someone. And yeah, this even says problems to be resolved. So it may be time to, like, I think the expression is hash things out with someone. Like just lay all your cards out and work through conflicts and get on the same page with them. Interesting, we have older woman dealings or relationship with an older woman. So this could be happening with an older female friend of yours, an older sister, a mother, aunt, grandmother. an older, like, I mean, obviously, you know, an older woman, whether it's a teacher, a coworker, a boss, it could be. If there's someone who came to your mind when I was talking about getting things off your chest and it's not an older woman, then just ignore this. But I do think that the older woman could be a confirmation for many of you, especially if there's like an older woman who's born in October. We do also have like repeating O's. So someone whose name starts with O, first, middle, or last name, or someone who has O blood type, if you know that, could also be significant. And perhaps you could be working things out in written format because we have this quill and ink. Or if you're going to have an important talk with someone, it might be helpful to just like spill out all your feelings onto paper first, or spill it all out into your notes app. I do this quite a bit, like when I need to have a difficult conversation with someone, but I don't want to get carried away in my emotions. I just like vomit out all of my emotions into a notes app first, leave it for a bit, and then come back to it. And I'm like, is this really what I want to say to them? And then I try to approach it from a more composed place. But there may be a need to just vomit all your feelings out. And then decide like if you want to communicate all of this in the same way to this person, or if you want to take a different approach. But what I can tell you is things need to be said. Things need to be said. Things need to be talked through. That much is clear. So this concludes the general overview part of your reading. We're going to take a look at the specific areas of your life now. So we have one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and finally your spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love life and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the World. Beautiful. And for your oracle card, we have Protection. Aw. And this is, a lot of the cards in this deck have Mother Mary on them. So this is a Mother Mary card. So it's interesting that we have this motherly card and then we have older woman. Maybe some of you are working things out with your mother, or if there's someone you need to confront or have a difficult conversation with, the higher self of your mother, like whether she is incarnate or not, it doesn't matter, because of course her higher self is with you. The higher self of your mother could help you to feel more confident. So, for example, if you have a superior at work who you need to confront because they made a mistake, or the way that they're treating you is not acceptable, or you need to set some boundaries with them, the higher self of your mother, or even the higher self of your female ancestors, want you to know that they're going to be right there, like right next to you, to give you that confidence to speak your truth and to be assertive and to not back down, to not only assert your boundaries, but like maintain them, uphold them. So whatever conversations you need to have, you're going to be protected by a loving feminine energy. That's really beautiful. So looking at the World here, I also want to mention we have the numbers 21 and 35 here, which could be significant. They could be someone's age. But looking at the World, this is a card that talks about, especially in terms of relationships, people from other countries, people who speak different languages, people from different cultural backgrounds. So you could be interacting with a lot of like diverse people in October, like international people, or there could be one person who is very significant for you who comes from another country. So for example, if you're single, your love interest could end up being someone who is from another country, someone who you don't have the same native language, someone who comes from a different cultural background. I think you get the picture. You could be in a relationship where there is like a language barrier, or there is a long distance situation going on. I do also want to say the World, when it comes to relationships, I think of reciprocated feelings. So For those of you who have a person of interest, I do think this is a sign that they reciprocate their feelings to you. So they feel the same way about you as you do about them. If there's someone far away and you're missing them, they miss you just as much. If you love someone, they love you just as much. If you're thinking about them, they're thinking about you just as much. And they want the same things in this connection. They want the same things to happen. I would also say that they have the same fears as you. They have the same worries or concerns as you and the same insecurities. Like you're very much reflecting the same energy back to each other. And I think a lot of you needed a confirmation of that. Even some of you could be in a committed relationship with someone and still sometimes feel a little bit insecure and wonder, like, do they care about me as much as I care about them? Do they want a future with me just as much as I want it with them? And the answer is yes. You may show it in different ways, but the answer is yes. And I'm noticing as I'm talking about this, my throat is getting kind of scratchy and closed up. So it could be that you're dealing with someone who's just a little bit less vocal than you are. Like they're not as expressive with their emotions, but that doesn't mean that they don't have them. It could be that they just feel uncomfortable vocalizing things sometimes, or they don't really know how to put it in the right words. I think some of you are dealing with someone who has unintentionally hurt people with their words in the past. Like what they wanted to say came out wrong, and then the other person got mad at them. And so they might have this insecurity of like, every time I open my mouth, I mess it up. Like I don't word things right. And then people misunderstand me, or I don't choose the right words and I hurt people's feelings. So it's better if I don't talk at all. Like someone might have that fear that you're dealing with. Or honestly, you could just be dealing with a quiet person. You know, everyone has different levels of talking, and it might be hard to believe because I talk a lot in these readings and they get quite long, but I'm definitely more of a nonverbal kind of guy. Like I'm happy to just like sit there and let other people talk. But anyway, the world can also indicate popularity. Like you are increasing in popularity. So you could find that there's a lot of people wanting to be around your energy. And I do think you have a very magnetic energy this month because you're reconnecting to your natural essence. This is, like I said, this is traditionally Taurus energy, the Seven of Pentacles, and Taurus is very beautiful, very sensual. You could really be radiating your natural beauty and your natural aura this month, and that's going to make you attractive to a lot of people. You may notice people sliding into your DMs or sliding back into your DMs, like people from your past friends, past love interests. Whether you are happy to receive these or not, I don't know. Whether you want to respond to them or not, I don't know. Just know that they're coming. I think you're going to have a very full inbox. A lot of people are going to want to be around your energy. You could notice that you're receiving a lot more compliments this month as well. I just heard some of you will be receiving more compliments even though you're putting less effort into your appearance. So maybe you like wear makeup every day, and then the one day you don't wear makeup, you realize that everyone's commenting about how good you look and how you're glowing. Or maybe you always straighten your hair, but then you show up to work with your natural curly hair and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. It's something like you're actually simplifying your appearance routine or your beauty routine, and yet, like, contrary to what your brain might expect, you are even more radiant. I think this is just a group that has a lot of natural beauty, and I'm not saying that it's bad to put effort into your appearance. I think it's a wonderful form of self-care, and I think that feeling good about how you look is important. But I think this month you're just enjoying a more simple and more natural way of presenting yourself, and I think other people are enjoying it too. Yes. I'm just noticing all the flowers in this card. Having plants or flowers around you could really boost your energy this month, or even like wearing floral things could boost your confidence or make you feel more like yourself. Wearing things with a floral print, wearing accessories that are in the shape of a flower, wearing floral smelling perfumes or using floral smelling like shampoo or detergent, for example, or even getting a tattoo of a flower, I just heard. So confirmation if you're thinking of getting a flower tattoo. And I actually am as well. I'm gonna get a honeysuckle tattoo eventually. But yeah, having eyes on you, being more popular, people wanting to be around you. You could be more active on social media this month, or your following is growing. You could also be gaining more recognition for your work. So like, for example, if you're a creative, you could notice that there's more positive comments or your work is being shared more. Or you could notice that your boss or your superiors are like giving you more pats on the back and putting in good words for you. Your image and the way people perceive you is especially positive. I think it's always positive, but you're gonna feel it's especially positive this month. And like your reputation is very good. Yeah. With protection here, for some of you, getting this kind of attention could be overwhelming. I don't necessarily see this as you needing to protect your energy from those who have bad intentions, but just maybe kind of like we spoke about at the beginning, being more mindful about grounding. Because when there's a lot of eyes on you, inevitably there will also be a lot of projections on you. And so just being grounded in your own true energy and clearing away others' projections will be important. So next, let's take a look at your cards for career and studies. For your tarot card, we have the Page of Cups, and that puppy is so cute. And then we have, this is new life or like a rebirth. Kind of like this transformation card. And this is Isis, by the way, on this card. And it looks like, oh, it looks like there is a dog and cat, a dog and cat here as well. And there's a little dog here too. I kind of got the feeling that some of you guys might be working from home this month or spending more time at home because we have the little house here. And then this kind of made me think of, this looks like the rainbow in the 10 of Cups card, where you see like the happy family at home and we have companion animals here. So it's like you're spending more time in a cozy energy, spending more time with your loved ones. It could be, I do think this is going to be a relatively low stress month when it comes to your work and studies. A more low stress and a more cozy month. You could be getting some help as well. So if you work for a company, you could be getting some new employees that take a bit of the burden off of you, so that especially those of you who are doing more work than is in your job description, like if you're doing like 2 people's worth of work or 3 people's worth of work, your company could be hiring more staff to take some of that load off of you. Or if you are self-employed, you could be using an assistant or delegating some of your tasks to someone else so that you can spend more time at home resting, so that you can spend more time being creative. And there's really an emphasis on spending more time with your companion animals. I'm hearing, especially for those of you, if you have like a new baby companion animal, if you have a puppy, a kitten, or anyone who is a baby, that can be a bit more high maintenance, right? So being able to spend more time with them could be very important to you. And also, they don't stay little for long, right? So you want to be able to enjoy all of their cute moments. Of course, this could be referring to like a newborn baby as well. You want to spend as much time with them as possible. But also, for those of you who have elderly pets, I think it could be the same thing. You know, when you have senior pets, you want to spend as much time with them as possible while you still can. So for those of you who do have animals, I get the feeling that you're gonna get to spend a lot of time with them this month, which does lead me to believe that you will be at home significantly more often. I don't really like to make health predictions, but some of you guys might come down with a little something, nothing serious. I'm talking like a little cold or something like that. That actually ends up being kind of nice because you can spend some cozy days at home, like drinking tea and watching shows and snuggling with your puppy. And it's just like a nice little mental health break. It just feels like a very cozy month. And I think that this rebirth, I actually don't get the feeling for a lot of you that it's about a career change. I think it's just more about you recharging and rejuvenating and getting back to your normal self, because with the Page of Cups as well, it does give the feeling of a renewed spark, like a renewed spark coming back. And many of you are maybe, like, if you've been losing inspiration or losing like the zest for what you do, it could really just be that you need a break from it all. Like, you just need time to recharge. The number 18 is making me think of the moon card in tarot, because it has the number 18 on it. A lot of you could just need to get some good sleep and just take some time away from what you're doing to gain new inspiration and new ideas, that when you come back to work, it's going to feel like you're reborn. It's going to feel like you're a whole new you. This is going to be a very good month for those of you who are creatives. We have very creative energy here with the Page of Cups. Definitely a month where you're coming up with a lot of new ideas. The 18th of the month could be significant as well, like October 18th. And a Pisces person, because, you know, we spoke about this being like the moon, that is related to Pisces, and then this is water signs. So especially a Pisces person could be significant to your career or studies, but it could also be Cancer and Scorpio, which are the other water signs. Renewed creativity, a renewed spark for what you're doing. It feels more playful this month as well, probably because there's less pressure on you. There's less of a heavy workload. You're getting to spend more time with your children, whether that's human children or fur baby children. Spending more time also creating with no pressure, creating things just for fun. Yeah, and I think that matches with the beginning energy of slowing down, and also that it's not like there's any huge breakthroughs this month. It's just slow and cozy. And you're getting new inspirations so that when you do really get back to work in full swing, you'll be motivated. Okay, so finally, we are going to look at your cards for spiritual and personal growth. For your tarot card, we have the 9 of Pentacles with a beautiful owl. By the way, if you guys, if you own decks and like if you read your own cards, the owl tarot is so pretty. I should really get it. My stepmom has it and it's so beautiful. And then we have kindness or gentleness. Yeah. There's really just a feeling, and I'm aware that I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but there really is a feeling of just taking a slower, gentler, more cozy and less stressful approach to the work that you do. Like, it just feels like you're entering into a softer era where there's just a lot less pressure put on you. And with less pressure and stress on you, it allows you to be more creative. It allows you to get more inspirations because you have room to breathe. You have room to breathe. You have room to explore. The 9 of Pentacles also makes me think of you living a more balanced life. Some of you maybe will realize that without even realizing, your life had just become about one thing. This was kind of how I felt before I went back to school. it was like my whole life had become the KINO Tarot channel. This was like a couple years ago, but kind of all my energy was, it's funny, the visual that just came to my mind is like when you have a Tupperware of food and you put it in your bag on an angle and like all of the food slides to one corner of the Tupperware and it's like not evenly dispersed anymore. Your life maybe became like that. It became all about your job. It became all about making a certain amount of money. It became all about your romantic relationship. It became all about your parents. If your life became all about something, this energy is about redispersing your mental currency, redispersing your efforts, your energy, your priorities to have a more well-rounded and balanced life. I think you're also realizing that there's certain things, the way it's coming through, there's certain things that you wish you could neglect, but you really can't neglect. Maybe you thought like, oh, I don't need to worry about that. That's not important. I'm focusing on this. And actually the example that came to my mind is like neglecting your diet. So maybe like not eating enough or needing to eat fruits and vegetables, but you're like, oh, that's not important. I don't need to eat. I'm just going to keep working. And realizing actually it's really important for me to stop what I'm doing, get away from my desk, like exit my office building and just go have like a proper meal in the park or something like that. These things that you thought were frivolous, these things that you thought were not necessary, you're realizing, oh, I really should be paying more attention to these things because everything is important. Your life and your energy is such an intricate balance. It's the same way you have to take care of every part of your body, because if one part starts ailing, then it's going to affect other parts of your body. I think you're realizing like the interconnected web that is your life, and putting all your energy in one place, even though that's maybe what you feel compelled to do, is not beneficial for you. Everything needs attention. And the Nine of Pentacles just gives me that feeling of like that kind of balanced life. It can also be a sign of self-employment. So if you are self-employed, this could be a month where you're feeling particularly grateful for that, because you get to really be in control of how you balance your energy. You get to have these cozy moments. You get to be creative. You get to slow down when it feels right to, and push the gas pedal when it feels right to. For those of you who are not, this card could be an indication that you would do well as a self-employed person, or a confirmation. Like if you've been wanting to do that, this could be a confirmation that it is what you are meant to do. I definitely think the owl is a significant spirit animal for you guys, in that you have the maturity and the wisdom to be independent, to create your own routines, to execute things in the correct way. You're very smart and you have the ability to retain a lot of knowledge as well. That's what is coming through. But yeah, paired with this kindness and gentleness card, this is definitely about taking a gentler approach to life. And going back to what we spoke about in the beginning, it seems like something that will creep up on you. You know, it's not like you're working. This doesn't give the energy of someone who's working 60-hour weeks and then one day they just wake up and they're like, that does it. I'm gonna quit my job and move to a cottage by the sea and start growing my own food. It doesn't feel so black and white like that. I think it's more just like little changes that you feel your way through on a day-to-day basis, that one day you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm living a softer life now. Maybe you read a diary entry from a year ago and you're like, holy crap, I was so stressed. I was so busy. Like, why was I doing all that stuff? It's all these extra like stresses and responsibilities, I think, fall away gradually. And that's going to be more sustainable, because if you think about, I need to do a complete 180 right now so that I can start living a softer life, that's overwhelming. And you don't have to do that. You can do this in small changes. With the numbers, we have 31 and 35 here. Of course, I don't know what age you are, and there's a lot of ages watching this, but if you are within this age range, these could be some really like transformative years of your life. Or if these ages are coming up for you, I think this is going to be a really happy and transformative time. Yeah. So those are all the messages I have for my group number 3s. The last thing I will say actually is a Cancer, Leo, or Scorpio person with Venus in Virgo could be significant. Like a Cancer, Leo, or Scorpio sun with Venus in Virgo could be significant. Yeah, so those are all the messages for my group number 3s. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch dozens of exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and also choose the topics for future videos. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sending lots of love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly. And I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.